Welcome, guys, to the Chronicles of Gamers, episode 80. This is a podcast where we love to explain our love-hate relationship with video games. And of course, let me switch this over. I am your host with the most, the greatest podcaster ever, especially in Chicago, and Illinois, and Detroit, and maybe Indiana, and definitely Michigan, is, Wyoming probably, and Atlanta, Efocutioner. Yeah. Woo! Love this music. Although I may have a new music I might be playing, because this is like definitely boss battle type of stuff. And of course, we have the video game maestro, the man with the plan, the guy who definitely doesn't like doing behind the scenes anymore, Gamer Composer.
I'm showing up twice this month, yo. I'm showing up twice this month. I'm a little tapped out, you know?
I guess I'm just saying.
A little tapped out.
We had a 90-minute discussion. I just didn't record that. But that's fun, though. I don't want to play the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm actually doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. And how are you feeling, man?
Feel all right. Got a lot going on with family stuff happening and whatnot, and some things on the horizon next week. Going to ECGC. Shameless plug, literally, I'll be there. And I'll be on a panel and be speaking. So at the East Coast Game Conference. So it should be good. It's really good, interesting panels, different than your normal, well, I did audio in this thing type of thing. It's actually like, well, this is actually how I ended up in games, and is extremely non-linear in terms of how I got into the industry. But everyone's got their own.
I remember Chase got in because he read this book. Then he just discovered magical powers. And then he created the 80s band Journey.
Tell me why.
And then,
don't they young desert you? I don't know the lyrics. I'm just gonna sing I'm just gonna sing the chord tones.
And then also, like, if you also want to hear more Gamer Composer's music, he also was part of Jodeci. He was part of Earth, Wind, and Fire. He was part. Yeah, he was. Chase is also part of Dungeon Family.
No.
If you want to hear his current stuff, though, you can just listen to the new Cardi B Bruno Mars record. He's actually a composer. No, he's not. Let me shut the fuck up.
Okay, and that's when I say, "Skake 'em, guys."
Nah, bring that ass back here, man. Pause.
Yeah, pause.
All right. Anyways, the topic for the show, ladies and gentlemen, for today is I believe that video games are not for everybody. They can be played by anyone, but I believe they're not for everyone. Like, that's just the truth. Now, the reason I'm getting into this discussion is we all have been hearing, about Sekiro and how difficult the game is. And for those that are not, they've been busy with life, or they've just been really busy with life. There's been a few tweets talking about, how the difficulty in the game and how, the game should be a little bit easier for others to play. And of course, I forgot, I should have saved this article, but someone actually compared the game to Dark Souls, and then I threw my hands up in the air like, oh my gosh, here we go again. And then this just made me think about the whole discussion. And of course, it was, I forgot what game journalist it was. Damn, I really should have saved that. Like, I read it. I have everything else saved in archive. It's in the show notes, so if you guys want to read that. But pretty much, it went back to my discussion of how I believe that there are just games out there that not everybody can play. And the reason and the reason I say that is a while back, Extra Credits actually did this video basically stating about Barticle's taxonomy, where he basically tried to list the different type of gamers and how at first, you know, a lot of people thought like gamers were just like all over the place, and he managed to organize them to like 4 different types of categories, you know, like achievers, socialists, adventurers, and killers. And, you know, like killers like to do the competitive stuff. The adventurers like to explore and, you know, just check out the world. Socialists just like to go ahead and chill and just talk about stuff, but not really be that much part of the game. But they do play the game from time to time. And then, of course, there's the achievers who, you know, like to achieve stuff. So, and from that, most developers tend to base games or try to make games based off of like these 4 categories. If you guys never knew about this type of system, it's okay, because I think it was originally like they were originally playing cards, like the spade, the ace, and all that stuff. But, you know, Extra Credits actually did a pretty good job at explaining the video, but this was like years ago, so that's probably why a lot of people didn't pay attention to it now. But if we've been going back, and especially in game journalists, you know, not many game journalists, you know, since they are in charge of reviewing games, not all of them can be able to play certain type of games because, you know, not everybody is as, you know, as talented. Like, let's not forget, you know, it wasn't just last year that we had VentureBeat's journalists had a hard time just during the basic tutorial, Cuphead, and everyone, you know, bit into this man and dived in, and VentureBeat ended up having to do like 2 articles, like one explaining like why he was so bad, and then him having a second chance at trying to redeem himself. And then that brought up the discussion of like how game journalists should at least be, you know, a little bit better at playing games if they're going to review them. And this has also been a discussion that's been going back in the community where I feel like, you know, once again, not everybody can play certain games, but I understand that you want everyone to play games. And because of Sekiro, like this goes back into the Dark Souls, it goes back into the Bloodborne, let's go back into Cuphead. Hell, we can go all the way fucking back to like Ninja Gaiden, we can go fucking back to Tenchu, we can go back to Empire Strikes Back, Super Return of the Jedi. You know, like there's just so many difficult, and like originally games back in the day were just made to be difficult because they weren't that very long. So of course, in order to fill that span, you have to make the games challenging, and that's just how it was. It wasn't until like probably recently, to like the Xbox era, a little bit towards the 360, PS, like a little late PS2 into the PS3, the games have been, you know, the difficulty's been a little bit toned down because they want people to explore and do more stuff in their games, and that's understandable. But because of that, I feel it's gotten to a point now where everybody wants a game to be catered to them, even if they're not that good. And I feel like that is the problem. Although there is this one tweet, let me see if I think I have this tweet saved up. I might not though. Oh wait, yes I do. So let me pull up this tweet. This tweet got busted out April 5th, and this has now been probably one of the biggest memes that you've seen all around the internet. This is from Fetus Berry Ass Bastard Crunch, probably not the best name on Twitter, but you know, go, you know, do you, man, do you. But he pretty much stated, like in his tweet, when PC Gamer kind of talked about how he beat the Sekiro's final boss with nothing but cheat codes. And he said, like, you cheated not only the game, but yourself. You didn't grow. You didn't improve. You took a shortcut and gained nothing. You experienced a hollow victory. Nothing was risked. Nothing was gained. It's sad that you don't know the difference. And pretty much everyone took that as a meme. Most people said, like, oh, it's just a fucking video game. What's the big deal? And although I know a lot of people blew up and kind of took that over proportion as saying, like, what's the big deal? It's just, you know, it's a fucking game. You know, he paid for it. He can do whatever the fuck you want. And I'm like, yo, that's true. You can literally do whatever the fuck you want with a game if you pay for it. You know, if you want to do cheats, do cheats. But even though there's no cheats in the game, because the developer didn't put it in, someone modded it. But yeah, you know, he could easily use the mods. But the whole point is, as a game reviewer, or just a gamer in general, there's going to be that one game. It may not have been Sekiro. It probably could have been Bloodborne or some other game. But there's going to be one game that you're going to play that you really want to dedicate and put your mind and your focus in, because you really want to play and beat that game. Every gamer at one point is going to have, or at least have that moment where they're like, oh shit, I really want to do good in this game. I really want to beat this game at the, you know, the greatest difficulty. And I feel like for someone like him, like, yeah, I can definitely understand when he was saying, like, yo, you really didn't do anything. Like, you didn't gain anything from this. Like, why did you even buy the game if you were just going to, straight off the bat, not even going to try and get better, Like, especially for me, because, like, I play fighting games. And fighting games are not exactly the easiest fucking thing ever. We all know that fighting games have been trying to go towards that easy mode aspects in order to get more people to come and play it. Yep. But because they focus more on trying to get new people into it, they make the mechanics or dumb down the mechanics so much that it's hard for the people who actually want to get into it to actually why get into it if I can't do any of the cool creative stuff because you toned it down in order to make it easier for people that are just going to buy it, play it for like maybe a few hours, a few days, or a few weeks, and then just fucking disappear and go to the next big thing. Like for that guy, who, like, by the way, who, did that, he also ended up playing in like another game. I think it was like Immoral. And, he pretty much talked about how that game was like Dark Souls and stuff. And I know he pretty much did the same thing here, but the whole point is just like, it kind of feels like this, like this James Davenport isn't really a huge of the, difficulty type games. Like, I don't feel like he's like that type of person that'd be perfect for doing a game like Sekiro in the first place. So it's like, why did he even try playing it? I feel like he'd be more suited to play an action adventure or a puzzle game or something like that, where he doesn't have to put that much dedication and time into it. And I think that's fine. Like, I truly believe like there are just games out there that are just not meant for everybody. And
I agree.
I just feel like I don't mind that devs like to do the whole easy mode and stuff like that in their games, but sometimes there are devs that just don't want to do that. And I think that's okay. And that shouldn't be an automatic thing where it's just like, if you make this and you do this a little bit easier, then more people could be able to play it. And it's just like, no, it's very simple. They can still play it. Like you can still play Dark Souls, you can still play Bloodborne, you can still play all these difficult games. You just gotta ask yourself, do you want to put in the time and energy? And if not, then it's just like, well, I don't know, Gamer Composer, what do you think, man? I got more to say, but I want to hear what you think.
Yeah, so I got a couple things to say. So first of all, I agree that, and I thought as an industry that we already solidified this type of mentality in terms of like, games are just not for everybody. There are people who like different challenging games. I mean, hence why do we have all these type of game genres to deal with? I got fucking, let's go.
Oh shit. He's bringing out the vault. He's going into the vault. Look at this shit. I got fucking, okay, that's not a good idea. I got Darkstone. Okay. This is like a adventure 3D. This is an immersive RPG. They're gonna say vivid graphics, but it's PS1, so I don't want anybody on Twitter getting me on my case about how great the graphics are because it's hella old. 200 enemies, interactive characters. Anyways, you got this type of game, right? If you like that type of stuff. You got Blood Rain, like a 3D thing about like a 3D like story game about vampires, half vampire, half human, right? Something also pretty cool, right? That's a different genre. You got Tail Concerto. Don't fucking come to my house and get this because it was a gift. It's by Atlas, but I haven't played it yet. But I, got this type of cheesy little game. You got old ass GameStop, stuff right here is a little history for y'all. You got this type of RPG game, Lunar, right? You got all these different genres. Blast Chamber, X-Men Wolverine, if you like movie games, The Simpsons game, if you like cartoon adaptations because you can't get enough of The Simpsons, Twisted fucking Metal Black, classic PS2 game if you got lots of road rage and you want to blow shit up and you want to fuck shit up in the game because you can't do it in real life because you get tickets and suspended licenses and so on and so forth, right? So you got all these damn games for a specific reason. And that's why they exist, because there's different type of players, there's different type of gamers. And that whole, I highly suggest everybody watch that Bartle's taxonomy video by Extra Credits. They did a phenomenal job about explaining this. And he was talking about like, what does everybody want from your game? It's like, it's broken up into social, killer, exploratory, and achievement. And that's what those gamers are out there for. So it's like, why are we shaming each other for someone that
that cheated and wanted to get through it. Maybe they had a lot of going on in their life. Maybe they really enjoyed the game. They wanted to say that they beat it and they had to beat it. I mean, if cheats didn't exist, Nintendo Power wouldn't have been out, and Gamer Pro and all the other stuff and shit that to get through. And yes, there's people who want to challenge, and if that person doesn't want to challenge, then that's just someone you probably don't need to interact with. There's no reason for you to shame that person or get on that person's case about it. The other side of that is, like, if it's social media and you put that out there, you're kind of putting yourself out there to be hit by people who want to fucking voice their opinion left and right and left field because they feel like that internet screen protects them, and that's getting less and less as you see that raids happen. So you better be careful, and hackers. But that being said, on the flip side of it, I have to say, if you put that out there, you're going to get shamed because people are going to have their own opinion about stuff anyway. If you keep it to yourself and you keep it within your exclusive community, maybe a couple people on Discord, your close friends, your friends that you see locally or whatever, if you say something, people are probably going to shame you there too. So, everyone's got to have an opinion. It's unfortunate that the mentality, though, that I'm talking about is that we just can't respect that. For example, I don't like, and I've given Kingdom Hearts multiple chances about how to play this game, and it's just not for me. I've played the original PS2. I own it. Efocutioner has gifted me the HD version of whatever the fuck that was on PS3. I tried it again. I probably will still fucking try to play it again, but I just don't like it. I played it. People are like, and that's the thing that's confusing about it too, is that people will say, well, I played, yeah, oh, you played it. Oh, so you remember what happened in this game? They assume that you beat it. It's like, played means I played it. I didn't say I played and beat it. I didn't say all that. Would I probably like it more if they had cheats? Yeah. Hell, I mean, GoldenEye had cheats back in the day, and people were fucking putting big heads and skipping levels, and Tomb Raider on 1996 had cheats to skip the levels. Yeah. How do you fucking think people really enjoyed it? If everybody was the same, then all the video games that I've shown you, even in that collection, would be hard. They would instantly have no tier system of easy, medium, and hard. You would just be fucked with hard mode all the time. Just think about that. And then what are games then? Are they fun? Because games are supposed to be fun, whether they're board games or they're fun card games or they're video games.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun.
Whatever. They're supposed to be fun. If it didn't have those challenges, that means, it's just, you got to respect that there's different type of gamers. There's different type of people that think differently. I can't stress this enough. Get out of your fucking heads about this shit. And, keep your strong, massive, hardcore opinions to yourself sometimes. Like, not everything you think outright has to be said right away. Think before you fucking tweet. Think before, you speak. Think before you post. Because you could be affecting someone's day. Let someone just enjoy whatever. If it doesn't resonate with you, you can easily fucking scroll or just ignore it. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to. But that's the ideology. That's the ideology about it. It's like, you really don't have to respond. Unless you're extremely penchant and you're extremely passionate about responding to something like that, or that person is asking of your opinion instead of you being unsolicited. Like I said, again, the internet's open. You can say what you want. When that person puts that stuff out there, whatever. But at the same time, you have a responsibility as a player to say something or not say something and move. And that's it.
What's funny is I also kind of want to say I kind of, at the same time, even though, that, I'm not going to pronounce that guy's Twitter name. That was, the most ridiculous fucking shit ever.
Just say, the what's the ass bastard?
I'm not even saying any of that shit. You know who the fuck the Twitter guy I'm referring to. I showed the picture. I said the name once. That's as much as I'm doing on that shit. Damn, we gotta some people just gotta rethink their fucking Twitter names. But anyways, I do understand where he's coming from, too, where he's just, talking about, yo, you bought this game, the game was challenging, but you didn't even really try to get better and improve. And I'm like, I can understand that, because it's just why did you buy the game if you weren't really going to try and play the game? But at the same time, it's one of those things where it's it's his game. And if other people made an easy mode, I think that's fine. And then even with the whole Celeste argument, my thing is, the whole aspect of there should have been an easy mode put in right away. I don't think that's what the developer wanted to do. I think the developer really wanted you to play on that setting and to better yourself, because that's pretty much how he makes like those. It's pretty much how those games are basically made. Like Bloodborne was kind of made the same way. Dark Souls was made the same way. You know, where it's just like you play, you get your ass beat, and repetition, and that's how you get better. And I feel like there are those type of gamers out there that is meant. That's what it's for. And like in that aspect, I can understand the anger and the argument, at least for him, if that's what he was trying to refer to, of the you didn't even really try to play this game. Like, on that aspect, I can definitely agree on that. And that's where I kind of felt him on that. But I didn't feel him, like, if he was trying to refer to, like, you just automatically use cheats. You know, like, first of all, everyone's used cheats. I've used cheats. You use cheats. There's cheats in everything. I don't know if there's actually cheats in Sekiro, because we probably haven't discovered it, but that's okay, because there's mods. And mods make the cheats. I don't think there should have been a problem with fucking using cheats if it's your game and you want to use cheats. My problem is,
and they exist. It's not like you tried to hack it and ruin the game over that. Like,
exactly. My argument goes into the fact of, did he really try? Did he really try for the best of his ability to play this game outright? And it seems like he did, because he went to the fucking boss. And that's where I can be like, okay, well, he got to the boss. At this point, he's like, fuck it. I don't want to do this no more. I'm going to use cheats. And that's where I look at that and I'm like, I fucks with that. I fucks with that. But in all aspects, because of that, other people have been saying like, every game should just have an easy, like, not easy mode. Because apparently now everyone's saying the game should be accessible for everybody. And I'm like, that's where I kind of also draw my line on that. And it's just like, games are already accessible for anybody. Anyone can play any game out there. They can play it. I literally have like seen in the fighting game community here in Chicago, I've seen a person who has no fucking arms fucking playing Street Fighter 4 on an arcade stick, and he was fucking playing Cammy. Yes, with his fucking face. He was playing Cammy.
No, feet.
Oh, that's Evo. I was gonna talk about him next. But
her.
Her. And then there's another person who's got the, also play with his face, and he plays Chun-Li. But, that's Broly legs. But the person here in Chicago, he kind of, he plays with his face, and he plays fucking Cammy. And he does such a fucking good job with Cammy at Street Fighter 4 when I saw him, like, since the game's now been done. He was hit confirming it's a spiral arrow. One button, it's a spiral arrow. And I was like, holy shit, that is fucking impressive. How many hours and days, weeks, months. He really wanted to play Street Fighter, and he found a way to play Street Fighter. There was a fucking person at Evo that played with his fucking feet that Chase is referring to, and he saw that shit, and he was surprised. There's a person that we fucking met, what was it? There was an article written about him, how this guy with one arm was playing fucking Overwatch like this on his arm with the controller. There was recently an article about a fucking deaf person playing Overwatch, and they're like a top 500 player and shit like that. And it goes to that aspect of like, games don't need to be automatically dumbed down. Not dumbed down, but games don't need an easy mode if the developer doesn't want to put that in. Any developer can put that in, and that's fine. That's on them. That's how they want to play their game. But if there are games that doesn't have it, you can't say like, you should have put this in because you got to make it accessible for everybody. It's already accessible. You can play it. The question is, do you want to put in that time and effort to play this game? If you don't want to, then don't play it. If you want to get the cheats and do that, that's fine too. Right. That's still time and energy that you're putting into it. It's just not time and energy of getting better, but you can do it. But you can't say it should automatically be included. Maybe some devs don't want to do an easy mode. And in this case, Sekiro doesn't have it. Bloodborne didn't have it. Cuphead definitely needs it. But, that's okay. And, like, the game is already not easy to play, but the game is already accessible for everyone to play. And, to me, accessibility is kind of, like, easy. Because, if you look up the definition, just fucking Google it. But the whole point is, anybody can play these games. The question is, do you want to play these games?
Right.
I like playing challenging games. I definitely will be getting Sekiro. Not right now. I'm probably going to wait until it's like $40 or $30. But, it's just like, you just got to ask yourself. And like for the people out there, they're just like on both sides where it's just like they're talking shit because, fucking Chico. Or you got another fucking person talking shit because, it should automatically have an easy mode. Or you're talking, or not easy mode, but accessible. Now that's the key word, accessible. And all that shit. It's just like, so the fuck what on either cases? Can you play this game? Yes. Do you want to play this game? Well, the game's kind of hard. And it's just like, no. Yes or no answer. Do you want to play this game? If you take out the popularity of this game, could you see yourself playing this game or any other game? If you can't answer that with a yes or no answer, then that clearly tells you that you were not interested in this game in the first place. You were interested in the hype of the game. We've had the same discussion at fucking Kingdom Hearts, where people didn't even take the time and energy to go back and research the story, but yet everyone complains about the fucking story. Not the gameplay, not the characters, not any of that stuff, the fucking story. The simple thing of you going to just fucking watch a thing. Even now, as we're about to get ready for Avengers, people are already going to be like, yo, I haven't seen any of the other Avengers movies, but I really want to see Endgame. Then go back and watch it. Yo, but it's too long. And it's like, okay, so then there you go. You're only watching this movie because the other people who have taken the time and energy to watch the movies are excited to watch this final movie. You are coming in for the hype, but you're not willing to put in work to understand why it was hype. You're just coming in to just enjoy the hype and say you did it, and then you just go on about your merry fucking way. And that is where I have that problem. It's not just, it's like you said with the whole social media thing. And it's just like, that's the problem. Everyone is so quick to say some shit, but not really thinking, ask themselves, do you even really want to do this?
Right.
And that's where this whole fucking topic started. Do you even really want to do this? Like shit, right now, if they were to come out with what was it? I really hope, I don't know, I just really hope people really sit down and think about this shit. Where it's just like, you really need to ask yourself, like, on these type of questions. Like, when the next new game comes out, what fucking, was it Days Gone? When Days Gone come out, are you really going to be one of those type of people that like zombie type games? And the explorer type world type zombie like games? Let me ask you this question. If you could see yourself playing Dead Rising, I think it's called Dead Rising because it's with Frank West. If you can't see yourself playing Dead Rising, could you really see yourself playing Days Gone? Where it's pretty much just going to be almost the same thing. One person driving around fighting zombies. Could you see yourself doing that?
No, I can't.
Do you need to play it because of the hype?
No, I definitely don't.
If you're a type of person that likes to play shooting games, but is not a fan of Battle Royale, would you be a fan of Apex Legends?
No, probably not. Just be honest with yourself.
Right.
Just
like I played, I tried
stop
Apex
playing things
Legends.
for the hype too. Yeah, you mentioned that. Like, I mean, you don't have to. Yes, some hype will get you, but it should get you if you were instinctively interested on releases that happen, whether it be at Gamescom or it be at Tokyo Game Show, E3, GDC, whatever those type of premieres happen at, the Game Awards, etc. But instinctively interested because you're like, oh, that looks cool. I think I might be interested in that. You read a little bit more about the development as, you know, the months go on, whether it be bad or good or whatever like that. And then the final releases, give it a chance and whatnot. And it's interesting because I also want to say influencers are cool and all, but you still are a person. Don't idolize what influencers are and forget about your personality as a player.
Thank you.
That person is still a player. It's just as if you saw them in person. If they weren't streaming every day, if they weren't video every day, and you met them in line and they weren't a streamer or an influencer, then it would be the same thing. Don't let this whole like screen internet thing cloud your judgment in terms of what playing games means to you and what fun means to you and your opinions about the game. It's okay if that streamer, that influencer really did their thorough research about the game, was like Angry Joe for Anthem. He was like, he did the beta video, he did the game video, and he did extended discussion video. So that man for Anthem, for that specific game, in my opinion, did thorough research in terms of, and then not just him, you know, other Joe and the other guy too.
Oh, also
the three of them.
Also, they also were like me, who also watched the gameplay of the devs and stuff, showcasing the game,
right,
and showing all the cool stuff, and being like, "Ooh," because that's how I got. So
they really did their research about the game, and so their opinions about it, coming off on it, kind of saves you from spending the money to kind of play it. Now you're still as you have free will and you have disposable income, you can go play the game yourself in your own time, your own leisure, and paying it. But for other these like surface streamers, influencers, just like stop letting that shit influence you. Stop letting children. Stop just. I mean, seriously, I was on a conversation with the other ago saying that the influencer had influenced his child about, and we're probably jumping the gun because I know you're going to get into it very soon, but influenced a child about a game, and the child went and just was hopped on the bandwagon and started like bad reviewing the game, like out of nowhere. And his father was like, "Yo, did you even try it first before you even thought to do this? Like, what is your opinion about it? What was your experience and your feeling about it?" It's, this happens outside of games too, but here, but it's just stop letting it happen all around. Otherwise, you're gonna have nothing else. You're gonna find yourself like, oh, I have nothing to play, and you have like a backlog of shit that you didn't play, that you didn't beat at all, and you're just hoarding it. And other people could have been enjoying that. You're just being selfish, and you're also being unreasonable. If you are that person, obviously, if you're not that person, disregard what the hell I'm saying. But those of you out there that are listening, you know who you are, and you don't have to agree either. You can continue playing the way that you want, whatever. Hate what I'm saying, whatever. Just ignore it. I don't care. But I'm just can't get mad about it because I think it's extremely toxic.
Yeah, like. No, you pretty much nailed the nail on the head, where it's just like, but there are certain influencers, or you have to pay attention to the moment of like what happens when influencers do certain things. So like, for example, I think my biggest straw with Anthem, because even though I had seen since after the fucking E3 2073 showcase, where the dev showcase stuff, and then I tried to play the beta, but I had to sign up for fucking that EA thing, and EA kept. Mm-hmm. By the time I finally got approved, I didn't even get approved. I actually got approved during Apex Legends, but even watching the beta and exploring that, and then seeing all that, and then even after watching the first week and seeing all the problems with Anthem, I still believe in my hearts of hearts that Anthem was going to get fixed and get patched out. But the one thing that really stopped me was the fact that EA had sent an influencer the game, and they had to and they reviewed the game for EA. But he talked about all the problems in the game, and EA told this influencer, you have to take this video down, and you need to take all the things you said out of it. And he was like, no, like, this is your problem. You guys need to fix this. And they just like instantly blacklist them. That's when I knew right then and there. And like that, I don't know if articles caught on to that, but I caught on to that because, I was on Reddit and fucking Reset Era. And they talked about how like this influencer who was already an influencer for EA, and he had done other EA stuff before. And then he just take his shit down, and then they just blacklist him right off of that because he said no. That's where I looked at that and I said, Anthem has a problem. Yeah. I didn't listen to anybody else or any of that shit, but when you hear something like that, that's where you have to honestly make the judgment yourself as saying, do you still want to get Anthem because of this, or do you just want to wait to see? And I literally said I'm going to wait to see, and I'm glad I did that. But you have to use like your own judgment, and I understand that with the internet era, because me and Gamer Composer were talking about this on how every day someone is posting stuff up, every minute of every second, and it's so easy to get bombarded with you got to play this, it's so easy for you to be like, you know what, this game is amazing, or this game sucks, without you really having tried it, because the influencers could just tell you that, especially if you follow the same type of influencers. You really just have to sit down and ask yourself, like, what the fuck do you want to do? What do you want to play? And I've also said this before, like, you can't buy video games off of just the merit anymore. You can't. You have to do research. You have to treat this thing like you're buying a car and stuff. And I know that sucks.
You better, or you'll be getting a bunch of Anthems, because trust me, they will put it out.
See? And it's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we are no longer in that era. For us old school people, we have to accept that shit a long time ago. For a lot of the new generation, they're still trying to process this and try to figure it out. I feel like at this time, we're now reaching a point where like the young kids that from the 360 PS3 era, now they're becoming adults. Now they have to spend their own money. Now they're starting to realize like, whoa, what is this? So I'm like, I'm sorry that you have to do research now. And it sucks that you have to do research upon research upon research before you even have to fucking buy a game, because most people just want to play games just to relax. Why do I have to do so much research to play fucking games? Well, unfortunately, we have to make a roadmap ourselves on making a roadmap of the game we want to play. You know, as much as
you're crossing all your T's and I'm probably renting the games before I buy them.
See, he's going to be running the games.
Why should I purchase something that because I can't resell something that's going to suck critically across the board. You know what I mean? Like, someone's going to be like, oh, I heard that game was bad. Why would I want to buy it from you, even if it's cheaper? Well, now I've lost out on money.
And don't even get me started on Metacritic.
You got my money.
Don't even get me started on Metacritic, because I got some shit to say on Metacritic.
Let's hear it.
That shit can easily be bought. No, I just feel like Metacritic could just be easily bought, because that is mostly dependent on reviewers. And let's face it, man, a lot of the big reviewers that Metacritic, takes in and stuff, they can be bought, just like the small independent influencers on YouTube can be bought. Anyone can get bought, man. I'm sorry about this. The big company can be bought. The little guys can be bought. Anybody can get bought. This is probably the best era of anybody getting bought, because everybody wants that money. Most people do this shit because they want the money. I kind of sometimes want to do this for the money. I'm not going to lie about that shit.
Right.
But I mean, you got to understand, you got to figure out who's got the principles. Are they really willing to sell their soul? Are they willing to say yo, a game that they know sucks, but because they got paid enough that they're just oh, okay, you know what? I kind of, I'll promote this even though this game sucks because you gave me the money. So that's cool. You're really just going to have to pay close attention to the influencers or the people that you read from these companies. You got to ask yourself, do you think that they have the integrity to be honest about what they're playing? And I know that, once again, that sucks because it's you're putting more pressure on yourself, because it's just shit, I have to do research on the people that I watch and listen to and read. Now I have to do research on my games. There's a lot of things to do. I just want to play video games. And I'm you can't do that anymore. Because at this day and age, and because of how popular and how quick everybody can watch and consume things, and you can easily influence people now, because it's no longer the TV that's going to be doing that. It's the fucking computer. It's the fucking internet that can influence you. And it's just so easy for all the influencers to get together and say, this is an amazing game. And it's really ass. Or this game is ass. And you'd be surprised it's actually pretty fucking good. They just can't fucking play it.
Exactly.
And that's where we're at now. So, ladies and gentlemen, the answer I can honestly tell you is this. You're going to have to do your research. You're going to have to do your research on the people that you watch and you listen to. You have to do research on the things that you read. You're going to have to do research on the games that you play. And unfortunately, in the video game industry, that is just how it's going to be until we can stop the process of publishers being able to pay for influences. It definitely is the YouTube people. But by the way, if you look at some of the ads on certain IGN or GameSpot or stuff, you might see a certain game on there that they're about to talk about. You might see a certain movie that they're going to go watch and see. There might be a certain TV show ad that's going to be right on there. And then they're also going to talk about that thing. So it's one of those things where, or hell, you can go to VG247. You can go to fucking, what's that robot one? Destructoid. You can go to fucking Destructoid. And you'll see those ads on there. You go to GameSpot. Rock, Paper, Scissors. VentureBeat. But you're going to see the ads on there. And it sucks that you're going to see an ad and then they're going to end up talking about the thing anyway. Anyways, Polygon fucking does that. That's just how it is. Because it's so easy for them to just drop the money on there and you don't know if the deal is, you can just we're going to give you money, just post the thing on your website and that's it. Or it's, here's the money, post the thing on your website and then give a positive review about it. You don't know if that's from the big companies. And then you don't even know from the little guys who actually get the game if they're going to be honest with the review, if they're paying for the honesty, or if they're just paying to just have you play this game because they're even though there's a problem, and I don't care about the problem because it does give me wonderful and amazing shit, I got the money, so who gives a fuck? I got the bag. I'm good. Fuck you guys. Some people just it's like the Joker, how people thought about the Joker and Dark Knight. Man, just some people just like to watch the world burn. Some people can be bought off. Some like to watch the world burn. And at this point, I feel like you really need to follow the people that just want to watch the world burn. Because at least they're more honest about the shit that they do.
Sad but true. Sad but true.
And me, I like to watch the world burn because my main income is not from this. It's from outside forces. So I can go ahead and be as honest and as pure and not give a fuck as I want to. So, but I'm not saying like we are the best or anything, but I'm also saying that we're the fucking best. See? Honesty.
Hell yeah.
Honesty! We're the fucking best. Gamer Composer, you got anything you want to say?
Honesty is the best policy.
Honestly, it is. You feel better in the morning. Unless you...
Yeah, if you just get it off your chest. And I mean, like, there's a line, though, between being rude, being mean, and being honest. And I just want to make that clear. You can be diplomatic and cordial about your honesty, but don't be a jerk.
Yeah, like, don't give people shit for wanting to use a fucking cheat or a mod on a game that they bought. It's their game. Who gives a fuck? They wrote about it. Who gives a fuck? At least you know that the mods work.
Developer being angry about it, but if the cheats actually exist, the developer can't be mad because they put them in there. I mean, there's a reason why they're in there. They fucking know. They were like, look, again, they're catering to different gamers. Why the fuck?
Yo,
this is untenable at this point.
We keep going in the circle.
Why the fuck is the cheat in there if they didn't think that it was beatable? Why do you fucking think that? Because they know that they have gamers that are not going to use the cheats and gamers that are probably are going to use the cheat. If they didn't think that their game was if they didn't feel that a cheat was necessary, it wouldn't exist.
Period.
It's simple.
Or even if someone modded the cheat in, if they didn't want the mod to be in, they should have just made the game to a point where you can't be modded. So once again, it's like...
I mean, someone's already probably going to figure that out.
And then once again, who gives a fuck? They bought your game. They can do whatever they want with it. So if someone wants to mod and do a whole bunch of fucking cheats and make themselves God in the game, let them be fucking God in the game. If a fucking game developer wants to talk about being God in the game, let them talk about being God. At least you know that the mods work. But at the same time, yeah, you're definitely right. Like, yo, he didn't learn. He played a game that he definitely wasn't ever going to play. And he played the game and he cheated and he beat the game. You're right. That he definitely didn't better himself as a gamer. But at the same time, did it hurt anybody? Was it that big a deal? That's on him.
Right. Did it fucking hurt your wallet?
No. Did it hurt your feelings? No. But do I think I
take your snacks while they were cheating?
No, but you know what?
When they were cheating?
Exactly. No. But at the end of the day, I definitely agree with I agree with the tweet. That was like, yeah, as a gamer, yeah, he really cheated himself because he probably could have not only bettered himself as a gamer, he probably could have bettered himself as a person. But at the same
his prerogative, though,
right? Exactly, because at the same time, it's like, but he bought the game, and it's his money, and it's not affecting you.
Exactly.
So who the fuck cares?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. I mean, the tweet was nice. It's a good tweet. It's an honest tweet, and it's a tweet that 100% makes sense.
It's a true tweet.
Yes.
But it's just not necessary, really,
no.
in my opinion.
Yeah. And especially since it doesn't affect you. And especially since out of all the people that is just like defending this fucking game and all this shit and all these problems, we still haven't heard one word from the developer himself.
Huh.
So, you know, that's kind of interesting. And if he does say something, I would like to know what he says. And unless he condemns the fucking thing, I think we're good. So, you know. Just play the fucking games you want. But just remember that not every game is going to be for you. Yo, I fucking love Final Fantasy X-2. That's another game. Y'all need to fucking hop on the X-2 bandwagon. Yo, go play some Final Fantasy X and X-2. Fucking love that game. I know everybody talks about Persona and Legend of Zelda. Can y'all go play some fucking Final Fantasy X, X-2? I think that's the best Final Fantasy out of the whole entire series. I could easily get into that discussion. We probably should wrap it up though, right?
Yeah.
10 and 10-2 is the best Final Fantasy in the series. Nah. It's better than 9, bitches. Nah, fuck out of here. Get your ass back up, bro. Get back up here. That's right. I said it's better than 9. Anyways, though, it's already time for that show where we got to say, goodbye. But before we do, you already know what time it is. It's time for shameless plugins. Love Brioche.
Yeah, what's up?
Go.
Where is she at?
You know what? I forgot to actually message her, so that's on my bad on this time. My bad. I got her this time, though. After the recording, I'm gonna hit her up. So, because all I got to do is just some editing and some other stuff. Anyways, shameless plugins, Gamer Composer.
I went early, remember?
Oh right. Thank you for watching Chronicles of Gamers podcast. Follow us on YouTube, Play on Player. Then of course you can follow me, Efocutioner, on Twitter, Efocutioner. You're gonna get a lot of Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, fighting games, me probably talking about random shit that I watch or do, and probably talk about some video game stuff. If not, you'll just get a lot of retweets and stuff on Twitter. Twitch.tv/playonplayer. It's PL4YONPL4YER. I will be streaming again. It's just I've been trying to get the YouTube list together. The YouTube and Twitch list, because there's going to be something I'm going to be doing on Twitch, and I'm going to quickly upload on YouTube. So, and then I'm also trying to create content, a little bit more content for YouTube, and we are actually getting a Patreon because I've heard about the things that are going on with Patreon. So we're going to get a Patreon because I now actually have a legit game plan, and I did promise that I would not make Patreon until I have a game plan. So now we have a game plan, and everything's coming together. So yeah, we're going to be having a Patreon. It'll be up by, let's see, this episode will be on the 26th. So I'm going to have it by the 19th. So this will probably be a week after this. So if you're watching this, it will already be up. And then we're also going to be doing some other stuff so we can alert people that are actually into the content and stuff without having to just mostly rely on social media. So we're going to do our own little thing on how to contact you, the fans, and have you guys contact us, because I know that's actually been a problem because some people just don't have the time of day to be checking their social media. So I know an even better option, and we're going to be focusing on that. So a lot of the stuff is going to be coming out a week before this episode. At latest, it'll be by the time you watch this episode. It's just life, man. I got a lot of life shit going on. So
yeah, we both do.
Yeah. Gamer Composer?
Yeah, I mean, you already know the platforms. I'm updating my Twitter, my LinkedIn, all that stuff.
And the website.
On the pipeline. Yeah, and the website's being updated too. And I have a GDT trip post of reflections for this year now.
These are his reflections.
And that's the usual. Thanks for watching the podcast. That's it. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, folks, that's pretty much it. Final Fantasy X is the best Final Fantasy, and 10-2. It's better than 9. Agree. Please send all of
better than 7. In fact, I think 7 is better than 9. I think 13 is better than 9. Fuck yeah. I think 13. Final Fantasy 13 is better than 9. And I definitely believe Final Fantasy 12 is better than 9. I know for a fucking fact Final Fantasy 6 is better than Final Fantasy fucking 9. Final Fantasy fucking 9 is not even better than Saga 2. Saga 2 is better than Final Fantasy fucking 9. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. I'm out of here. Come at me, bruh. Stay lit.
Skank 'em.